Going inside Memorial Sports, this is the Panther Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. We are now in the Panther Fan Zone. We're going to switch gears from track and field and talk a little baseball because the Panthers they're pretty hot right now. I just mentioned to them. Now, they didn't turn my head. I've been paying attention to them for a while, but I think they probably caught some people a little off guard. They beat Liberty 8-1 last week, and then followed that up. And Brandon Robson, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys clinched the playoff spot with your last win.
We did, correct.
So pressure's off, guys. Now you can just relax and be sophomores. There's not a whole lot of pressure when you're 15 or 16. I don't remember much pressure. So Brandon Roberson, first-year Memorial coach, which is weird to say because every coach there is their first year as a head coach at Memorial. Introduce your two guys that you brought with me, and we're going to talk a little bit about what you guys have done and what lies ahead. Yeah,
sure. We have Eric Benavidez. Eric is a infielder for us. And then we have Luke Bocanegra. Luke's also an infielder, right-handed pitcher.
I mentioned the Liberty game. That was last Tuesday, week ago tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And you followed that up with, I'm in the wrong district. Let me get up here in the right place. No, I don't have that. You followed that up Friday by beating Lakeview 12-3, which those are one of those games that'll test the coaches' patience a little
definitely.
bit.
Well, I told them before the game, the conditions, the wind was blowing in, the grass was really thick, so I thought scoring runs was going to be difficult, and it was for 6 innings.
Right.
You hit it in the air, it's not going to go anywhere. You hit it on the ground, it's not going to go anywhere. Wasn't many extra base hits. We were just able to put a big inning together in the 7th and get out of there.
9 runs in the 7th.
Right.
That makes you look like a really smart coach, though.
Well, it was these guys up there, good at bats, and just we were in a 3-3 game going to the 7th, and fortunately, we're able to score some runs there.
And Lakeview's a team that's given some people trouble at times. In fact, they're right there in the middle of that 3-game or 4-team kind of bottleneck where they've got a chance to get to the playoffs. So they're still playing for a lot. You guys grab the mic here. Let's get you to talk a little bit. Luke, I mentioned the Liberty game, and then you follow that up by beating Lakeview. That was a pretty big week for you guys. You're having a great season anyway, but when you're an old man, you look back on last week, what's going to stick in your mind about what you guys did last week to kind of get you going momentum-wise?
Definitely the grit that settled down and stayed true to ourselves and just play our game.
What about you, EJ? Eric, I'm sorry, Coach introduced me as Eric. I called him EJ the other day. I want to make sure that people know that we're not just inventing names here.
Yes, sir. Yeah, probably a lot what Luke said. The grit to stay consistent and stuff like that, sir.
Because Brandon, you didn't say this. You win a big game. You beat Liberty the way you guys did. There's going to be a human tendency to come out a little bit and kind of exhale a little bit and think kind of got the world's problem solved baseball-wise. To me, that win may be even bigger than Liberty, the fact that you guys came back and the way you came back.
Yeah, well, I mean, you play on Tuesday and Friday, so you have a couple days in between there to move on to the next one. And I was proud of our guys to go down there, tough place to play, long bus trip, and get out of there with a win.
Yeah, those are the bus trips that start to put hair on their chest a little bit.
Yeah, that's the one you have penciled in your schedule that you don't really look forward to, but you know it's coming. But glad certainly to go down there and come out with a win.
You've been on that bus for a few of those trips, going to St. Angelo over and over and again. And fortunately for you guys, next year you won't have to mess with that much. So I'm going to give you the option of talking about this as dad or coach or both. The game against Liberty, you guys got a pretty good pitching performance that night.
We did. Barrett threw a great game, complete game. And we talked about it the next day. To do that, we deal with a pitch count. And he was able to, I think 17 out of the 26 batters that he faced were either on or out in 3 pitches or less. So you're going to throw a complete game, that's kind of what it takes. And, defense behind them. We had 1 inning there where we had a few errors, but we were able to get out of there with just 1 run, which was huge in that part of the game. And that ended up being the only run that was scored.
And that was against a Liberty team that knows how to swing it. We've talked before. There's some comparisons to be made between you guys now and them when they started. But those guys could swing it. So it took good pitching and good defense to beat them.
They can, and they took some really good swings. They put the ball in play. Barrett only struck out 3 batters, so our defense had to be solid behind them. And
followed that up
it just happened to hit it at us a bunch of times.
They followed that up with 24 runs on Friday, so
they were due.
So come back and get these guys to talk a little bit more because they've got 2 games this week before they start thinking a little bit more about the playoffs. We'll come back after this break on the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
This is the Panther Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. I'm Randy Rosetta. It's the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. I don't know if Mike Gustafson knew he was doing this, but he's left the game on the Kansas City Royals, who are just tearing me apart right now, not being very good, so I'm not even going to pay attention to that. Besides, I've got some pretty good baseball players to the left of me here. You guys grab the mic, so I want you to talk about you've accomplished a lot. Last week was big, Luke, but now you got business to take care of this week. You guys are still in the hunt for a district championship. It's going to take you guys winning 2 more and getting some help. What do you want to, you seem like one of the leaders for this team, and I think that's been fair to watch here the last couple of weeks. What do you guys need to do this week to kind of keep doing what you've been doing? Because the playoffs are out there waiting for you. What do you have to do this week to keep getting better?
Definitely keep throwing strikes, just have a good defense behind our pitchers, keep our bats hot, and keep winning in games.
What about you, EJ? What do you guys need to do to be a better team when this week ends? Let me make sure I get this right. You play Levelland at home tomorrow, and then you go across town to Estacado. So you're playing 2 teams that are in that mix to still try to get into the playoffs.
Just keep on playing how we've been playing. Really, just play the game we know and we love.
What are you guys good at? What makes you a good team right now?
Right now, I think we're real good at hitting, putting the ball in play, moving runners over, situational stuff.
Which is, I bet Coach is probably pretty proud over there, because if I would have asked that question in February, that may not have been the answer. Brandon, watching young guys evolve and understand baseball a little bit differently. Now these guys are, you have a different group because they've played baseball together a lot, but how fun has it been to watch these guys grow and kind of understand baseball a little bit differently?
Well, it's been a lot of fun. It took us a while to figure this team out and where everybody fits in and what their roles were going to be. And we've kind of gotten on a roll here recently. We have been able to put up runs, and now I think the pitching, over the last couple of weeks has really come on. So we haven't given up quite as many runs, and fortunately been able to keep scoring a little bit.
And watching you and your coaches work with them, you've moved guys in and out on the mound, which early in the season, that to me that's important, because now you're getting to the point of the season where you want to be able to have that tool in your toolbox, because you get to the playoffs, you can't let a guy work through a lot of problems. You got to be ready to have that next guy ready to do something different. Yeah,
I look at it in a few different ways. Get guys on the mound, get experience in innings. When you get to the playoffs, we very well may need all of these guys, and so you get in a 3-game series that it kind of has more of a tournament feel with your pitching staff. So you need everybody with some experience, and where you're not just relying on a couple of guys. We've got some guys out there with some innings under their belt.
I've told Chad Reynolds, you're the guy that you used to work with for so long. That's why I love what 2-6A does, because it feels more like college baseball, and you get to the playoffs, it's not anything different. You've done this the last 6, 7, 8 weeks. So are either one of you guys arms? Or do you throw pitches? Do you Are you starting to think about what it'll be like to be out there in a playoff setting, or does it matter to you? Is it just going to be baseball's baseball?
Just baseball's baseball, really.
Because if, like I said, pitchers and playoffs are a little bit different because it gets a little bit more intense. What about you, EJ? Do you throw? Are you pitcher?
No, sir.
You just worry about scooping the ball up and getting guys out.
Yes, sir.
These are your two middle infielders, right?
That's
Your
right.
Regular
Yeah.
middle infielders.
Shortstop, second base.
It's a pretty good foundation to start with, and I believe Michael Rainey's caught most of your games, correct?
He has. Yes.
What's the old adage about being strong up the middle? Seems like you guys have that part figured out. How many guys do you feel like could go out there in a playoff situation and pitch for you?
I think we've got 10 guys that, we could throw out there and be comfortable with. And, if a guy's not having a lot of success, we'll go to someone else. But I think we've built enough innings with enough guys that, I at least feel comfortable putting them out there.
So we've talked about you guys being in the playoffs a lot. What I should ask you is, how cool is that? You guys are freshmen and sophomores. You're about to go to the playoffs for the first time.
I think it's real cool. I'm excited. A little nervous, but, I got years to get over that and look forward to as well.
You can be more nervous when you get older. What about you, Luke?
It's definitely cool. First year school for sure, and just like set as a example for following years to come.
Yep, you guys have raised the bar pretty high already. We'll come back after this and talk Liberty Patriot Golf and the Patriot Fan Zone. These guys will be back, so I have a hunch they're going to play for a while here. So that wraps us up in the Panther Fan Zone. We'll be back after this break.